Watch this video if you want to learn 5 gifts that you can give yourself right away to become a better trader. Hi, my name's Créde. If you haven't been here before, I'm a high performance and trading psychology coach, and my goal is to help you master your mindset, manifest your goals, and lead a richer life. This video is going to be a short and sweet one, but it's a pretty important one. And I was inspired to make it based on 2 things. So one is that we're just on the cusp of holiday season. As I record this, we're 2 days away from Thanksgiving. And it's the season of giving thanks and giving gifts, but why not reflect on what we could actually give ourselves right now, free gifts that in the moment, if we were to implement these, it would instantly lift our sense of joy and happiness and our trading results. Secondly, I was on a Q&A call last night, so like a coaching call with a group of traders. And they were discussing their challenges and we were talking through solutions to help them get unstuck. And there was a common theme that was arising across lots of different traders. So it was the same theme, but it was showing up in different ways for different people. And it was the theme of feeling when I achieve XYZ, then I will feel a certain way. When I achieve this amount in my trading account or this amount in my bank account, when I'm a consistently profitable trader making X amount salary, then I will feel happy, contented, accomplished, proud, like I have autonomy over my life. I'll have more free time to spend with my kids. A sense that at some point, some destination in the future, when these goals have been met, everything will be great. And until that point or that destination arrives, then I'm going to feel dissatisfied, frustrated, impatient, etc. And the problem with approaching life through this lens or looking at life through this lens is that it's actually a fallacy. You're never going to get to that destination and feel differently because your feelings come from inside. They're not driven by external things. No external thing has the power to make us feel happy or not. It's a decision that we make from the inside out. So a great example of this is someone who maybe, let's say they have 100 grand in their bank account and then they win the lotto and they have 10 million in their bank account. If they started with a scarcity mindset, so if with 100K in their bank account, they were thinking, I'm scared I'm going to lose this money. It's not enough. I want a life of luxury and I don't have enough. I'm scared to give any of this money to charity because I mightn't have enough left for me and my family and what I want to do. That type of mindset. If they then have 10 million in the bank, that mindset is not going to change unless they actually work on the mindset itself. The money will not change that scarcity mindset. So it's just now a person who's got 10 million in the bank, who still has a scarcity mindset, who's still afraid of losing money, who's still looking at all the possible ways that that wealth could disintegrate overnight. And they still, at their core, feel the same level of anxiety, dissatisfaction, insecurity. Whatever it was that they were feeling with 100K in the bank, they will still be feeling that with 10 million in the bank because happiness is an inside job. Not to sound corny, but it's absolutely true. How was this impacting these people's trading? Well, that sense of always focusing on the gap of feeling the lack of where they are now versus where they want to be was causing problems in their trading. It was causing them to break their trading rules. So because they were feeling like their needs weren't being met in the present moment, it made them feel frustrated. And then when they were in trades and they were losing the trades or something was going against them, they had such a sense of a need to rectify the situation, to try and meet those goals as quickly as possible, that it was resulting in them breaking the rules, going past daily loss limits, revenge trading, taking too many trades. And so the real solution is not to try and stay in that loop and hope that somehow something's magically going to change and that you'll stick to your trading rules and eventually you'll hit your goals. It's to take responsibility for creating the feelings that you need to feel in the present moment or in your day-to-day life. And I'll just explain that with a very simple example. So if somebody believes that when I am a consistently profitable trader, I will have more time to spend with my family, more time to spend with my kids, I'll be a better father. It's not the money that's going to give you the permission to spend more time with your kids. You can take responsibility for that in the present moment and create the essence of that in your day-to-day life so that you can experience more joy. And yes, that might not look like taking your kids on a 3-month safari. Maybe it just looks like spending 10 minutes reading a book and being to them and being very present with them. But that's something that money doesn't need to give you. You can take responsibility for that yourself. So in that way, if somebody actually proactively does that, recognizes that they have the desire to have freedom over their time, to spend more time with their kids, and then they say, I'm going to do that in spite of the fact that I haven't met my goal that I would really like to meet, but I don't have that money in my bank account yet to quit my day job. If they take responsibility for creating that time with their kids that they desire, if we look at what that would do to their trading, they're going to feel more joyful, more content, more satisfied, less impatient. And so when it comes to the trading and they're in the market and something goes against them, they're not so emotionally triggered and they're not trying to extract everything that they can from the market because their needs are already being met by them themselves. It's a choice that they make to meet those needs in whatever way that they can given their current circumstances. So that lessens the likelihood of them breaking their rules because there's just not that same sense of emotional drive to rectify things and to close the gap on their goals by using the market to do that. So what's that got to do with gifts? Well, if we boil it all down, what we're talking about is shifting the way that we perceive our current circumstances in order to experience more joy. So these gifts that I'm about to share are things that you can instantly implement. Directly after this video, you could go and implement all of these. They don't cost anything, and they just require you shifting your perspective, the lens that you are looking at your current world through. And this can have a massive impact on your joy, happiness, and your trading performance. In honor of Thanksgiving, the first one is gratitude. So yes, this is as simple as it sounds. It's being grateful for the things in our life that are going well, our blessings, if you want to call it that, and recognizing them. So actually taking the time to dwell on the fact that there are things in our life that are really good, even when we feel in the middle of a mess or in a chaotic period or some challenging period of life. There are always things that we can be grateful for. You could have two people with the exact same life circumstances, same levels of income, living in the same place, same social standing, and they could view their lives very differently. One person could be completely dissatisfied with that set of circumstances because all they're seeing is the gap between where they are now and where they want to be. So their big ambitious goals. The other person who has a mindset of gratitude will feel much more content in themselves. And so even though they might be pursuing the same lofty goals, the journey itself is more fulfilling and rewarding. And yes, that sounds a bit airy-fairy and idealistic, but it actually has a direct impact on bottom line performance metrics. So of course, this goes for any high performance arena, even outside of trading. But there's a ton of research that shows that people that practice gratitude, and by that I mean they actually make it an exercise every day where they write down, for example, 5 or 10 things that they're grateful for that day. And they do that consistently, day in, day out. There are benefits to their sleep, their physical health, their mental health, their sense of life satisfaction, even their decision-making, their resilience in the face of challenges. So the list goes on and on. But basically, just by making that small internal shift and forcing yourself to shine a spotlight and to recognize the things that are going well for you, even when you're in a phase of not quite being where you'd like to be, that will help you anchor yourself in the present. And it will take the pressure off having to achieve these goals, because suddenly it's not that those external things, the money, the time freedom, the getting rid of your job, your 9 to 5 and trading full time, they don't hold the key to your happiness anymore. You're building that sense of contentment and happiness from the inside out, and that allows you to approach your trading with less pressure, which allows you to stick to your trading rules. So that's how a practice of gratitude, so writing it down, and I really suggest you do write it down as opposed to just thinking about it in your head, because the research shows that that makes it more effective. That by doing that every day, it's a gift that you can give yourself that will increase your experience of joy and will also make you a better trader. The second gift that I'm going to talk about is self-compassion. And honestly, if I could instill one trait in every trader I worked with, it would be self-compassion. Trading is a high performance arena, and often it attracts people who are very driven, might have perfectionist tendencies, expect a lot of themselves. 99% is not good enough. They have to reach 100%. And yes, that can be a helpful mindset to have when you're driving towards big, ambitious goals and trying to do something extraordinary. So only 1% of traders are consistently profitable. So yes, it does take something exceptional to be able to reach that. However, beating yourself up for mistakes and losses and having negative self-talk as a running commentary in your mind is absolutely not the most efficient way to get you to your goals. But we learn this as children. We live in a paradigm as children where we do something wrong, we get given out to, there's some sort of punishment, and that changes the behavior, or at least that's what our parents are hoping. So maybe these days, things have moved on and there's a little bit more sophistication around that, but likely a lot of us experienced that in our childhood. So what we're doing then is internalizing this idea that if I want to change a behavior, so if I do something that I don't like and I would like to not do that in the future or do it differently in the future, if I beat myself up and punish myself then I can expect that that behavior will change. And actually, as adults, we have a lot more resources and tools at our disposal to help change our behavior. We don't have to rely on self-criticism. But if we never change or challenge that paradigm that we've learned inherently as children, that we've been exposed to, then we just keep using it. And how that manifests is that when we do something we don't like, we make a mistake, we mess up, our internal critic takes on the role of giving out to us and punishing us in whatever way. And we believe that that will change our behavior. So instead, with the gift of self-compassion, what I'm inviting you to do is to actually become your own inner coach and inner cheerleader, where you take on the role of, yes, I would like to change this behavior, but I'm going to do it in the way that an excellent coach would do it with their trainees or their athletes. I'm going to be inspiring and motivational. And yes, I'm going to call myself out on my shit, but I am not going to do that in a way that damages my self-esteem, because it's just wasted energy. If you're talking to yourself after a mistake in a way that is to erode your self-esteem, it's going to pull you further away from your goals. So it doesn't serve any purpose. It's wasted energy. And while some part of us might feel that that's noble or we deserve it, if the overriding priority is to meet our goals and to do everything that we can do that's in our control to meet those goals, well, then adopting this inner coach approach is going to be much more helpful to you. So I invite you to cultivate self-compassion through things like listening to meditations that are designed for this. So it's a certain type of meditation, and you can look it up. There's lots of different examples of it. Would be loving kindness or loving metta meditation, which focuses on cultivating compassion for yourself and for other people. So that's a really tangible, practical thing that you could do to help you cultivate self-compassion. Another practical thing that you can do is to reflect at the end of the day on 5 things that you did well that day. So even if you've had an absolute horror and your trading has gone awfully, if you can still focus on 5 things that you did well, even if one of them is that I got up and my alarm went off, you're starting to cultivate a new relationship with yourself, one that isn't based on beating yourself up and ridiculing yourself when you make mistakes, one that's much more compassionate and motivational and inspirational, and that ultimately is going to support you much better in achieving your trading goals. Which leads me on to the third gift, which is giving yourself the gift of permission to make mistakes. And really at its core, what I'm talking about is the growth mindset as opposed to the fixed mindset. So you might all be aware of Carol Dweck's research on the growth versus fixed mindset, or if you're not, that's definitely something to check out. But with a growth mindset, which is the one that we want to have, we're able to recognize that mistakes are absolutely crucial and necessary. They're a part of the learning journey to help us to achieve our goals. You can't achieve mastery without giving yourself permission to make mistakes. If you can accept that as being a necessary part of the trading journey, and you actually anticipate that in your overall strategic trading plan, and I'll explain how to do that in a second, then you're taking a much more realistic approach to cultivating mastery. You're not creating unrealistic expectations that heap the pressure on you, which will ultimately cause you to break your trading rules. So let's anchor this in a very concrete, practical example of what you could do in order to practice the growth mindset in your trading, is to look at your trading strategy, so your technical strategy, and the number of days that you trade in a month and the market conditions. So take all of those factors into account, and then mathematically calculate how many red days could you tolerate on average in a month, as long as you weren't going on tilt. So still sticking to your rules, but allowing that there will be days that you end the day red. How many of those days could you tolerate in a month and still end up hitting your yearly target in terms of profit for trading? And depending on your strategy, that might look different. It could be more or less days, but usually it's an actual practice that you can do. It's an exercise that you can calculate the answer to. And when you have that understanding that you don't have to finish every day green in order to meet your overall profit target for the year, then it takes the pressure off you. So if you can do this one small exercise and actually build in bandwidth for making mistakes in your trading, plan for it, it will allow you to remain in the growth mindset, which is going to help you to become a better trader. The fourth gift that you can give yourself today is the gift of balance. And again, I'm coming at this from the perspective of wanting to help you increase your joy and your sense of fulfillment and happiness in general in your life. And then also coming at it from the perspective of this will improve your bottom line trading results. One thing that's often overlooked in high performance arenas is balance. So there's a sense that if I want to be exceptional, that I have to just drive myself towards my goals as fast as I can, 24/7, and that's how I achieve success. Interestingly enough, at the highest levels of high performance, so across sport, trading, business, any high performance arena, at the highest levels where there is a ton of money invested and there's performance teams to help people to achieve their peak potential, balance is prioritized. So it's recognized that having a balance between the person and the performer, so having a balance between driving towards your goals and time off, is actually a recipe for success. So it is prioritized at that level. But when we drop down the levels of professionalism and we go a little bit lower, so not quite at the top where there's a ton of resources and research driving everything, every action that's taken, there's a perception that if I want to achieve my goals, I just have to drive myself forward, and taking time off or including space for joy and relaxation and downtime and a social life, people nearly perceive that putting effort into those things is at the expense or at the cost of driving towards your goals. What I'm inviting you to do is to bring more balance into your trading. And by that, I mean balancing the person and the performer and the time and effort that is dedicated to both. So usually people are more heavy on directing their energy, their focus, their attention to the performer. So to all of those activities and actions that we feel will bring us closer to our goals. And the person often gets left behind. So the things that often get neglected are our physical health. So maybe we're not getting as much exercise as we would like to. Maybe our sleep, we're sleeping less, we're getting up, or we're staying up later thinking about what happened in the trading day. We aren't engaging in hobbies as much. We're not seeing our friends as much because we're directing so much focus and attention towards meeting our goals. It's almost as if we feel that if we direct any energy to these person things that in our minds don't move us closer to our goals, that it's wasted effort and that it's somehow taking away from the performer. It's setting us back on this side of the scales. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So actually, by shifting the priority and the focus and making sure that both the person and the performer get equal attention and that the needs of the person are met, you will be able to reach your trading goals quicker, and you'll also enjoy the journey more. So you will be a happier trader when you're consistently profitable, by virtue of the fact that you're taking care of the whole picture. Now, this does require quite a mindset shift, especially if you've been someone that has neglected the person in the pursuit of the performer's goals. But you should find that if you start even making small changes, so it doesn't have to be 50-50, you can just start improving things bit by bit on the person side, that it will give you back energy and motivation and focus, and it will make everything that the performer is doing easier. And once you see that start to happen, it's easier to trust that that approach actually works. So I'm inviting you to just take a few small steps, make a few small changes that support the person and allow you to direct some more energy and focus to the person rather than the performer, and then watch what that does to your trading results. The last gift that I'm inviting you to give yourself is the gift of time. And time is really all about perception. So too often traders assign an arbitrary time frame to becoming consistently profitable in, and they're not basing it on research data. They're not taking all of their personal circumstances into account, and they have an idea in their head that I need to be consistently profitable within a year of starting out on my trading journey, or that means I'm a failure. And the idea has come from nowhere. But once they assign that time frame to their goals, then what they're doing is massively increasing the pressure that they're under to achieve those goals. And when you increase the pressure in trading, even if it's just subjective pressure, what you're doing is making it much more likely that you'll break your trading rules. So by aiming for some unrealistic time frame to achieve your goals in, you're making it less likely that you will achieve those goals overall, because in the process of setting unrealistic timeframes, it's very easy to feel demotivated and to actually give up. So as one gift that I would strongly encourage you to implement today that can really increase your chances of becoming a better trader and becoming a consistently profitable trader at whatever level that you want, it's to give yourself a generous time frame. Even anticipate more time than you might need in order to achieve your goals, so that you can account for any mishaps that might happen along the way. If you can give yourself that runway, you will actually release the pressure off yourself and you will increase your likelihood of meeting those goals. And in order to be able to do this, you have to really be able to park your ego and park the chatter that you hear on social media and what people say about becoming consistently profitable in a year, or making $1 million in 10 weeks, whatever it is. You need to be able to tune that out and be very firm and focused with yourself around why you're giving yourself these timeframes. So if you're currently, for example, in a 9-to-5 job or some other job that's paying the bills, but you want to become a trader and you want that to become your main job, give yourself a much longer transition time to go from earning money from someone else to earning your own money through trading. Another example of where people can actually hinder themselves is where they jump off a cliff with that. So they say, I want to be finished with this job, so in 3 months' time I'm going to quit, and then I'm just going to have to make it as a trader. And actually what they're doing again is increasing the pressure there. A better way to approach that would be to say, over a period of 2 years, I'm going to transition from earning all of my money through paid employment to earning all of my money from trading. And let me even fill the gaps with a part-time job, for that middle range where I quit this job, but I want to support myself so that I'm not putting all of the pressure on trading. In that example, we're expanding the time frame for making the goal happen. And by doing that, we're taking the pressure off and we're making it much more likely that you achieve your goals. So if you want to become a better trader, ask yourself, what is my perception of time currently when it relates to trading? Is it realistic? Is it based on data, research, facts, or is it something that I just arbitrarily applied to my goals? And what ways could I expand my time frame across the board in any area related to trading that would release the pressure and allow me to go on this journey and still pursue my goals, but to do it with a sense of ease, less pressure, and more joy every day. And if you can make some small changes in those areas, it's likely that you will find trading much more enjoyable and you will be better able to stick to your rules. So a quick recap, those 5 gifts were gratitude, self-compassion, permission to make mistakes, balance, and time. So thanks for watching. And as always, if you're looking to learn more about how to end destructive trading habits and reach pro-level discipline and consistency in your trading, then check out my free trading psychology masterclass. And I'll put the link in the description box below and also in the pinned comment. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.